I'm back. Uh, this time there won't be any background noise because I attempted this earlier and there was a lot of background noise going on.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
So let me do it this way. So first, I probably should have did this first. So while I'm doing this tutorial, I want to turn the friendly ghost on. So zero evidence. You starts off crazy. So this what you do.
Alright, we're here.
This is probably the easiest
Everyone,
map.
prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
So the first thing you want to do is look in the monitor.
The ghost here seems to be linked to a cursed
Sometimes
object.
you'll see a
If
ghost
anyone
orb
finds
in the
your location, they
monitor.
may be using it to
But the
cause a
last time I
serious
was
damage.
doing this, you actually saw a ghost orb, and I had to scrap the whole video. So this is what you get. You get a smudge, you get the lighter, you get the video camera first, and then you get the photo cam. Now there are usually two tents you can go to. You can go to that one or this one. And then you wait. Oh, there's the ghost right here. So that's why you get the video camera first and then the photo camera second. So you can switch from the video camera to the photo camera if you need to get a quick picture. So the second thing you do after the hunt is over, you come back and you get salt to test for a wraith. And whatever else you feel like doing, like Unreal tests or grabbing these parabolics. That's what you pretty much go for. But I won't recommend getting the crucifix unless you're testing for specific ghosts. I'll probably list the ghosts that you might want to use a crucifix for when you're doing a test. So there's also another glitch spot, and that's over here. You get so we know what ghost is not. So if you crouch in this corner and if the screen starts shaking, it pretty much means that you're safe. Uh, there we go. That's kind of weird. Okay, so what else I need to discuss? So when you do come in here, you always leave the generator off for one hunt. You do that to test for a Huntu and probably some other ghost that escaping my memory right now. I think a Huntu is probably the only ghost you need to test for with the generator off. Uh, oh yeah, another thing is, here's all the ghosts you would be able to have crossed out within 2 hunts. I think it's situational for the shade. So these ghosts is all the ghosts you can like pretty much recognize within 2 hunts. But you have to really be paying attention to them. I mean, the Unreal, you can also say Unreal, but the Unreal is not a ghost I test for first. But I think Anu also a ghost that you can probably reckon you can test for and get the answer in 2 hunts. Okay. Anything I'm forgetting? I don't really remember. I don't remember all the bone locations. I think this looks like a bone right here. Yeah, that's a bone right here. So, uh, the bone usually spawn here a lot of the time. I think I had a game. Well, I had some games with a bone spawn here like 10 games straight. So here, pretty much all you do is you use that tent. Oh, well, you use two of those tent, one of those tent if one is blocked. But I prefer both of them being available. If I ever come to a game where both of the tents are blocked, I just exit out and start over. So you come here, you leave the generator off, you use your you use your video camera to look for ghost orbs, and you see where the ghost comes from. Then if you once you done with the first hunt, then you turn the generator on, then you turn the lights on, wherever you see the ghost spawns. Mm, okay, that was too quick. So let's move on to the ghosts. Oh well, let me before I go there. Well, I can do it during the ghost explanation. So here's how you know which ghost to find. For a spirit, it's pretty much you smudge it. If it takes 3 minutes for it to hunt again, it's a spirit. For a wraith, it can't step in salt. So you put down salt, and if it walks over it and it don't leave a footprint or kicks the the salt, it's most likely a wraith. So so if I get this salt, I probably can't use it here. And a ghost steps on it and it looks the same. It's pretty much a wraith. Okay, a phantom. Now, a phantom has pretty long blinks. So if the ghost is invisible, more than visible, it's a phantom. And also, if you take a photo and it say you has a 3-star photo and the ghost is not in the picture, it's a phantom. A poltergeist throws 2 objects in 1 second. Now, sometimes any ghost can seem like a poltergeist. So it depends on what you see getting thrown for you to know it's a poltergeist. If you see something like these sports balls, these little items over here, or the bean bags, yeah, like this little bean bag right here. If you see stuff like that getting thrown across the field, uh, don't be too quick to call it a poltergeist because any ghost can throw those items pretty far. Now this little bunny right here, that's like one of the heavy objects. Now only a poltergeist can throw this thing really far. Or you get one of these oven pans or whatever the hell they are. Only a poltergeist can throw those things really far. And sometimes you can set like a polty pile at the tent, and then you can watch when the ghost is like walking up to the tent. If where's she at? Okay, never mind. So if the ghost is walking to you and is not throwing as much, you can pretty much cross out poltergeist. Okay, so a banshee is probably going to be a lot tougher to get on your own. Sometimes you need two people to test for a banshee, but it is possible to do it on your own. Now, banshee is a teleporting ghost. It's three teleporting ghosts. I forgot to mention that the wraith and a phantom is one, but also a banshee is a teleporting ghost. Now, banshee doesn't change favorite rooms. And also, sometime when you like sit in this tent, you'll see a ghost spawn like right in front of you and walk this way. Like it'll walk forward and turns around. That's how you know a ghost teleported to you. So now another way to tell it's a banshee is okay. I just saw a ghost kick something over there. Another way you can tell a banshee is that you use a parabolic microphone, and the parabolic microphone you'll hear a ghost scream. Uh, that's what banshees do. Now you'll hear some other stuff in the parabolic microphone, but they're usually like whispers. But only a banshee can scream. When you're playing with two people, you can also do a banshee test by seeing if the ghost will switch targets. So if you guys like switch tents and it goes to the same person every time, it's a banshee. So that means you could probably go straight through the ghost and not get killed. A Jinn Jin is it's not simple. Sometimes you can get them wrong, but a Jin has like not simple. It has like instant line of sight speed when it first sees you. It'll have a normal walking speed if it doesn't see you, but when it sees you, it can go as fast as a fast twin or a revenant. I don't know what factors the gen speed, but sometimes it can go really fast, or sometimes it can go a little fast. But for you to recognize a gen, the generator has to be on. If you turn the generator off and it keeps main, it has it. Uh, if it maintains the same speed, it most likely a gen. And gens also doesn't turn off the generator. A mare, a mare used to kick my ass a lot, but now I've gotten better. I can pretty much spot a mare. Now I still lose to a mare because I don't really pay attention, but you really have to pay attention when you're dealing with the mare. Now a mare, I don't really go by if it turns off a light because that's something you do in amateur. In amateur, you go by if it keeps turning off the lights because on amateur it doesn't switch favorite rooms. But here it switch favorite rooms, so it'll turn off the light, but it could be any ghost. But here's how you can tell it's a mare. Um, when the match starts, you have to like see where the ghost comes from. So after the first hunt, you go you go to wherever you see the ghost come from. You turn the lights on, and then you go back to one of these tents and you pay attention to where it spawns next. If it always spawns where it's dark, you're most likely dealing with a mare. It does not spawn where the lights are on. A revenant, it's kind of like a gen, but it's slower if it doesn't have line of sight and it doesn't need the generator on. Now, sometimes when you come in through the gate, you'll see this ghost that's like instantly fast. And that's like it could be one of four ghosts. It could be a revenant, Hantu, Moroi, or Thay, or maybe Diogen, but we'll get to that later. But you'll know if it's not a Diogen. But for a revenant to test for a revenant, you have to hide. If the footsteps is a lot slower, but speeds up during line of sight, it's most likely a revenant. Okay, so a shade is supposed to be a shy ghost, but in zero sanity, zero evidence, it's gonna be hard to tell if it's a shade. So the only way I can tell you how to figure out if it's a shade is that if the ghost hadn't been smudged and have like a 3 minute waiting period, it's probably a shade. Shade doesn't supposed to do things while you're in the same room with it, like throwing objects or spawning in the room with you, but that hadn't been the case in zero evidence. I actually had a shade spawn right behind me to do a hunt. So just kind of pay attention if you hadn't smudged the ghost or if you did smudge the ghost and it takes a long time for it to do anything and you hadn't seen any activity, it could be a shade. A demon is pretty simple. If you smudge the ghost and you count to 60 seconds, that's when the ghost can start hunting. From 60 seconds to a minute and a half, if the ghost spawns again, it's a demon. After a burnt crucifix, I think it has 20 seconds over 25, which a lot of times I don't have the reflexes to start my timer because the timer I use, you have to, it doesn't start at 1. It counts to 1 first, if you know what I mean. So it's gonna be off a whole second if I do it that way. So I just don't really pay attention to it. If it burns a crucifix, I just smudge it and see if it comes before a minute and a half. A Uray, now Uray is a hard ghost. I think that's probably the hardest ghost to notice. Now, to find a Uray, you probably gonna have to scratch out every ghost first, because on this map, a Uray is going to be hard to detect. Um, they say that I think I only heard one person say that these tents they count as doors. Like if you come in and start opening all these tents, and then you find one of them closed for some reason, it could be a Uray. But I hadn't really paid attention to that. I think it happened once, and it turned out to be a Uray, but it could have been coincidence. But the tents that you hide in, they doesn't count. So if it plays with this tent or that one, it doesn't count as a Uray's ability. Only the exit gate and could be these other tents over here, and that one sitting straight ahead. Now Uray ability is to close that the exit doors. Like this gate right here, it doesn't have to close both of them, but it can close one of them, and it will sound like this. It will sound like that. If you don't hear that sound in the end, yeah, it's that sound right here. It's probably not a Uray, but sometimes I've seen it close and it don't be a Uray, but I guess you have to pay attention to the sound. And the whole time I've been playing this game, I only found a Uray twice this way. And Oni is pretty simple. The Oni has really fast blinks, and they don't have airball events. If you can see the ghost the whole time it's hunting, and it's blinking like very, very little, it's pretty much an Oni. A yokai is also a hard ghost to figure out. I mean, if you're playing on your own, the only way you can probably test for a yokai is that if you hide and you spam your mic button and it doesn't come to you, it's a yokai. But if you're playing with someone else, I think they say that yokai doesn't like being talked to, so if you're talking next to the yokai during a hunt, it will switch targets to you. I think that's about it. But you have to be close to the yokai. Uh, yeah. But the yokai has to be like 2.5 meters away from you. It it's what's the word? It's pretty deaf, but it's not stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but it's deaf, but it's not blind. Where's she at? Okay, it's blind. I mean, not. Oh my God, it's not blind. It's just what the hell? Where is she? Okay, it could be a mare. Uh, yeah, a yokai is probably one of the last four ghosts that you hadn't scratched out because it's pretty hard to tell when you're doing it on your own, even if you're playing with friends. You probably need somebody with 1,500 hours who knows yokai pretty well. A Hantu, you see the cold breath like right in front of the screen? If the ghosts have that, it's a Hantu. But the generator has to be off. That's why you leave the generator off for one hunt. If you see a ghost with this and the generator is off, it's most likely a Hantu. A Hantu also slows down with the generators on and this firelight being on. So if you loop the ghost around here, it's going to be damn near Diogen speed. A Goryo is pretty much a simple ghost, but it can still kick your ass. A Goryo doesn't change favorite room. So if you notice the ghost always starts in the favorite room and it comes to you, it's a Goryo. Sometimes it could be wrong because you would probably have to do 10 hunts to figure out it's a Goryo. Because sometimes it could be any ghost that refuse to switch favorite rooms. But a Goryo is designed not to do it, but every other ghost can, except for a Banshee. She must be invisible. She must be invisible. Okay, so a Goryo is... I would probably do 10 hunts to see if it's a Goryo. A Myling is another ghost that you're probably not gonna find unless you're playing with somebody else. Or if the ghost starts from way back here. If you don't hear the footsteps from 12 meters, it's a Myling. But for a Myling, I'm definitely going to need somebody to loop it around a picnic table. So if you loop it around, if somebody is looping around a picnic table, you just come in this truck, and if you can barely hear the footsteps or don't hear the footsteps at all, it's a Myling. But they have to be at the picnic table going around in circles. And Unryo is pretty easy to test for, but sometimes you can still get it wrong. So the best way I can tell you to do an Unryo test is that you set out 3 candles. You don't set out one and then you come back and get some more, and then you set the candle after one has already been blown out. You're gonna fail the test a lot that way, and a lot of times that's how I miss the Unryo because that's what usually happens. So you're probably going to have to start over if you do it that way. So it's best to get all 3 of the candles and then set them out and then light them. So if you light all 3 candles and you set a crucifix, or if you don't set a crucifix, it's going to start a hunt in, like, I think they say 6 seconds after the 3rd candle been blown. But a crucifix is going to stop the hunt. So you'll know it's tried to hunt if you set a crucifix down. The twins is an interesting one. There's probably 2 or 3 ways you can tell if it's a twin. A twin would, for one, twin is actually two ghosts, but only one of them is going to come out during a hunt. So they say one twin is going to stay in his favorite room, and the other twin is going to roam around the proximity of it. I don't know which one is going to be in the favorite room and which one is going to be roaming, but basically, basically, what you do what you do to tell if it's a twin is like each time it's hunt, you kind of pay attention to the speed. If the ghost moves fast one hunt and then the next hunt it moves slow, it's most likely twin. Another way you can tell is that you probably have to have your ears locked in, because sometimes you can hear like two things get thrown. But I actually found out twins by seeing two things get thrown. I think one stuff got thrown right here, and another one was thrown somewhere back there. And I actually saw it, and I knew it was twins. A Raiju. Okay, so if you're playing by yourself, the best way to find out if it's a Raiju is that um so first thing, I usually have the video camera on. And then after the hunt, I set it down. If the ghost comes this way and it moves pretty fast, I'm gonna do a Raiju check by like getting rid of this camera and setting it outside of the gate. And then the next hunt, if it moves slow, it's a Raiju. But if you're playing with someone, you can actually determine a Raiju in the first hunt. So before you come out of the truck, this only works with a tier 2 EMF reader. You just set it on the computer monitor and you have somebody to loop it around the picnic table. If the EMF reader goes off, it's a Raiju. Abake is pretty easy. If you see it change ghost models, it's most likely a Abake. The Mimic, well, the Mimic is the only ghost that leaves ghost orbs in zero evidence. So you can probably see a ghost orb on this monitor, or you have to come out here and look for ghost orbs, because the camera can only catch this area out here, but it's not gonna catch areas behind these tents or inside these other tents or in the game tents over here, because it's hid from this camera that's straight ahead. Or it might be in the public bathroom or shower, whatever that little area is. It has a bathroom stall and some showers. Uh, so let's say you missed the ghost orb. Let's say you missed a ghost orb. If you notice a ghost, let's say you thought you saw a Diogen, and you say, okay, it's a Diogen. Everybody circle Diogen. Then you look around to take pictures or to try to find a bone, and then the next hunt, the ghost is not moving like a Diogen. You probably know that you're dealing with a mimic, because the first thing you're going to want to do is turn that generator off and get the video camera and look for ghost orbs. Okay, so we're down to the last three ghosts. I'm going to do a Diogen first. Okay, the ghost just turned the generator on. So I'm going to do a Diogen first. So a Diogen is probably the fastest ghost in the game from a distance. So you could play on a big map like prison or the same asylum, and it would get to you like in a heartbeat from the back of the map. But when it gets close to you, it's the slowest ghost in the world. So you don't really have to worry about dying unless you're hiding in the closet. If you're hiding in the closet, you're automatically dead because that's the only ghost that always know where you are. So there's two ways you can actually die from a Deogen. You backing yourself up into a wall or you're hiding. Now, these are the two most common ghosts that you're going to get confused, a Moroi and a Thay. So I usually test for a Thay to determine what ghost it is, but basically you want to test for a Moroi to see what ghost it is because they both have the same speed. If you're down to a Revenant, Moroi, and a Thay, and it turns out not to be a Revenant, so the best thing you want to do is to test for a Moroi. If you smush the ghost and it's blinded way longer, it's most likely a Moroi. So a Moroi is the only ghost you can probably, well, I ain't gonna say only ghost, but it's probably one of the one ghost of the two that you're gonna figure out because it's gonna stay blinded for a long time. They say 7.5 seconds over 5 seconds, but I actually seen a Moroi gets blinded longer than 7.5 seconds. So a Thay, on the other hand, you can actually slow a Thay down by having a crucifix, and you stay in the ghost room with it. I think they say you can slow it. You can age it 10 times, because that's how you slow it down by aging it. And to age it, you have to be in the ghost room with the ghost. Sometimes they would like change ghost rooms to to keep that from happening. And that could also be a tell that if it's a Thay, if it changed ghost rooms from keep itself from being aged, or there's no or you can just they say you have to be by the ghost, but it doesn't count when the ghost is hunting. So if the ghost is hunting and you're standing beside the ghost, it doesn't age it. It only ages it before the hunt. And that's pretty much it. Good luck in your zero evidence and zero sanity run in Woodwind. I'm pretty sure I forgot some things. I'll probably do another video and mention it. Till then, good luck.